Hey guys, and welcome back. And welcome to this 6th video project that I'm working on, where I take cars from previous Gran Turismo games and rate them on a scale of how likely they are to actually come back into the series. Basically, how it's gonna work is that I separated each Gran Turismo game into its own video, and in those videos we're gonna be talking about 1. Cars that were newcomers at the time, 2. Cars that haven't returned yet, obviously, and 3. I'm not gonna be including duplicate cars because they're completely unnecessary, although there will be a few exceptions. Oh, and just know that I am not including any cars that are already back, because that would be completely pointless. Anyways, now that I explained how things are gonna work, it's time to begin. And so, in today's video, we're gonna be talking about cars from Gran Turismo 1. And being honest, GT1 doesn't have very many of those. But still, it's the game that started it all, so it might as well get a worthy mention. And so, with the long intro sequence out of the way, it's time to get on with the list. Starting off with the Catfish Camaro. And being honest, even though it may not seem as likely, it really is. But that's just my opinion, it doesn't guarantee anything about the car being added. But being realistic here, even though it may not be as likely as some of the upcoming cars, it's still pretty likely nonetheless. No, I did not forget about the fact that I said that duplicate cars are unnecessary, which is exactly why I think the odds of this car coming back are not very high. Now, despite the fact that Polyphony has a thing for JDM cars, I unfortunately do not see the CRX Del Sol coming back till Gran Turismo 8 at best. And now, despite Polyphony bringing back the versions of the cars from PS1 games, and I do think it's gonna happen for the CRX Del Sol eventually, I unfortunately do not see them bringing back this one till long after the other one is added, which is gonna end up in it getting a lot of backlash, but hey, I may be wrong. Meanwhile, the way older CRX SIR definitely has to be more likely. But given that my leaked list is the only confirmation for it at the moment, I'm not raising my hopes up yet. But it definitely is on the higher tier in terms of likeliness. And I guess the same can be said about the 1991 Honda Prelude. Although it is a bit less likely than the CRX, given that we do not have a single Honda Prelude in GT7 currently. And this Prelude also follows the exact same reason why I don't think it's that likely. But in terms of whether or not this or the 1991's coming back first, it could really go either way. Even though the 2nd generation Roadster appears in the data mines, I wouldn't say it's that likely. What also doesn't help its case is that it was never a premium in any of the PS3 era games. As for the 1991 RX-7, even though it's gonna get a lot of backlash for being a duplicate, I do think it is one of, if not the most likely car to be brought back in GT7. You know, out of the ones featured in this video. Being 100% honest here, I don't think anybody is really begging Polyphony to bring back the Mazda Lantis of all things. Hence why I think it's one of the less likely ones. Now, I do see the 1995 Eclipse being likely to come back, but not in GT7's life cycle. Cause Mitsubishi hasn't really been getting anything in updates besides the Lancer Evos. And sadly, the same goes for the FTO, but I do think the FTO has a lot more confirmation going for it than the Eclipse. I don't really need to say anything for this one. I wasn't expecting for this to happen so early, but this is the first car that I can clarify is not coming back. Now, I could say the same thing about the road version for it, if it wasn't for the fact that it was carried all the way through till its so far final inclusion in GT6. And even though it is still very unlikely, at least it is not declared as not coming back at all. And as much as the Nissan Primera would be a staple to OG fans of the series, And like many cars on this list, I do not see it coming back prior to Gran Turismo 8 releasing. Considering what I said in Volt's wishlist, we have not had a Nissan Pulsar since Gran Turismo 2, hence why it is one of the least likely cars on the list. Raffle Waffle said it himself that they should have brought back the R32 GT7, as that would be an acceptable alteration of a car we already have. But in terms of actually coming back, it is lacking a lot of confirmation as of right now. Even though there's not many wagon cars in Gran Turismo 7 currently, I unfortunately do not see them bringing this back before the RS6 Avant or the Aventime. For this, just like the Nissan Pulsar, I can use the exact same reasoning of it not appearing since Gran Turismo 2. Hell, I don't see the Chaser coming back into Gran Turismo at all. Now, I know that this is a variant of the Starlet that is way less likely to come back, but it's the only one that appears in the original Gran Turismo. And given this is a variant of the Starlet that was left in GT2, I do not see it coming back unless a miracle happens. And last but not least is the TVR Griffith 500. And I do not see it coming back anytime soon, purely to the fact that we did not get a single TVR since the GT Sport days. And overall, that is the list. Now, I know that this video is a bit short, but that's mainly because there isn't that many cars for me to talk about from GT1. 22 to be exact. But trust me when I say, the future Gran Turismo games on the list will definitely make up for that. And until then, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next time.